Hi, my name is Amy Mozzie, and I'm with Centurion Boats. And today I'm going to walk you through the all-new 2026 Centurion Ri245. This Centurion is 24 and a half feet. It welcomes 16 people and has as much as 5,650 pounds of ballast. And that's not even the least of it. Let me tell you what this boat means for you on the water. You know that this is a Centurion Ri245, even coming at you on the dock. The front of this boat is lit with the Centurion logo, and it has that signature look, almost like a predator coming at you with the docking lights on either side. It's got kind of a mean look to the front of it. You definitely know this is an RI. But there's also a lot of function built into the bow of this boat, specifically with the new high-definition digital cameras that we are offering as part of the range of view system. We call it ROV, and it allows you to see the water in front of you with this bow camera. These boats are tall. They have a lot of freeboard. That's mainly because we want them to be up out of the water and never have the opportunity to take water over the nose or water over the back when you're going over those big rollers from the waves that this boat creates. But that digital camera allows you to see the water in front of the bow, even though you can't see it from a seated position at the driver's seat. It also allows you to see when you're loading the boat on a trailer. It gives you that range of view. And with these new high-definition digital cameras, you have much more visibility and a lot clearer visibility. You also have our signature docking lights up front here. They're 4,800 lumens a side, and they're made by Baja Racing. These lights are extremely bright. As we move down the side of the Ri245, we start to see all of these signature elements that look as if they were made to go with this boat, because they really were. One of the greatest examples of that style is the windshield. This is the vented windshield that's made specifically for the Ri series. It is vented, so you can open the vents while you're on the inside of the boat and allow air to flow through, but it also has a great chiseled look that goes along with the body lines of this boat. It can also be customized. You can color the A-pillars or the corners of this windshield one of 18 different colors. The one you see behind me has the matte black finish, which is standard, but you can choose between another 18 different colors to really give this windshield that signature style that is all Centurion. You also have the option to add this custom colorization to the vents themselves. You see a fresh air vent here right beneath the windshield. This allows fresh air to be inducted into the boat and then travel back to the engine to give it as much fresh air to perform at optimum performance. You can get these vents in 18 different colors and match that color to the color you've chosen for your windshield A-pillar. But probably one of the most interesting things about this vent is the way it accepts color. Roswell Marine produces these vents for Centurion, and the process they use is a chem film dip process. It's a 6-stage process to prepare the metal that the vents are made of, and it allows the paint to adhere to them very well, and it creates a longevity for this part. For years to come, the color that you choose to accentuate these vents is going to look as brilliant and as bright as it can. New for this year on the Ri series is Ramfill Boosted. We've always talked a lot about Ramfill in relation to Centurion. It is one of our Centurion signature elements for sure. But this year, we've amped it up a bit. If anything, we've boosted it. On this particular boat, the Ri245, it has 5,650 pounds of ballast available in 7 different areas in the boat. And Ramfill is a little over half of that capacity. So there are 2 areas in the boat where there are tanks that are tooled in beneath the floor, and they extend kind of from the driver's helm all the way back to the transom underneath the floor. And they fill with a scoop that's mounted into the bottom of the boat. They fill underway. You have to be going anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour, and it will fill in 90 seconds. Now, how we've boosted that for the RI series this year is we've added two 30-gallon per minute sea flow pumps, one to each tank. They're fill and drain pumps. So they are going to boost that speed. So what took 90 seconds with just ram fill is now going to take, we believe, half the time when you are underway. So if you're going 14.9 miles an hour, you're going to be able to fill nearly half of this boat's ballast in around 45 seconds. It's that fast and it's that convenient. Speaking of convenience, it also gives you another level of convenience that Ramfill has not been able to offer in previous years. You can now fill your Ramfill ballast areas while you're sitting still. You can also drain them while you're sitting still. There is no reason to get up to speed to fill or drain any longer. With Ramfill Boosted, we give you convenience and speed, and then you make the wave. The look of the Centurion Ri245 is extremely customizable. You can choose between 3 different gel coat schemes on this boat. This particular boat has the slice scheme. You could also choose the drive scheme or the core scheme. Core gives you a lot more color down the center of the boat without that differentiation with another accent. You can also have the ability to mismatch your deck and your hull bases. And that is part of the Warrior package. So you can have a deck base that is black and then a hull base that is stone gray, like you see here. But it gives you another way to accent your Ri245 so it works for you. You also have the ability to opt for the Lit Centurion badge, which gives you a lit badge, which, let's face it, more lights, the better. But you can also color your badge itself. 18 different color choices on this particular option, and they all look beautiful. The RI series is the only Centurion series that can be optioned with the Centurion Predator Power Tower by Roswell. And this tower is no joke. It is amazing. Amazing in the way it looks, the style it gives to the boat. It looks as if it was made to go with the RI series because it was, but it has extreme amounts of functionality built into it. It's also extremely strong. But the way it functions is it's actuated with a button down by the right knee of the driver, and you can move it up or down from there. It goes up and down extremely smooth, and that's thanks to 4 Linac smart linear actuators. These actuators actually talk to each other. They know where every one of them is positioned, and they know how they need to react to that up or down press of that button. And this tower goes up and down so smooth and so quickly, it takes you a minute to realize it's even moved. But it gives you a lot of headroom at its most extreme up position, and it gives you extreme low profile at its lowest setting. This particular tower can be raised and lowered, and you can pull a rider, either a wakeboarder, a surfer, a skier for that matter, at any tower height level. This tower is that strong. You can also tow this tower on a trailer behind your truck at any height. It gives you that versatility. The great thing about this tower is it comes with a bimini, and it is a fixed, rigid bimini. This bimini is 9 feet long, so it covers almost the entire lounge. But the great thing about it being fixed and made to tow at any height is you can leave it up. You don't have to worry about messing with it when you're trying to get off the lake or get out on the lake to get everybody in the shade as fast as possible. You can have this bimini up the whole time. This tower gives you so much function, so much style, good looks, also some customization. You can color this tower, specifically the top section, different from the legs. legs. So the top section is available in 18 different colors. The legs of the tower are available in either black or white. And then you can add another accent, actually two accents, to the side shields of the tower themselves. They are gel-coated fiberglass shields that we produce here at the factory, and you can choose between 37 different colors for those two color areas on this tower as well. So we've established it's beautiful. It's functional, it's extremely strong and made for the rigors of water sports use, but it's also stylish and customizable. That is the Predator Power Tower. As we move further down the profile of the Centurion Ri245, we find yet another cluster of really cool functionality that's built into this boat, starting with the fuel fill. One of the things that I believe is the most convenient is the fact that we have dual fuel fills. You can have one on either side, and they go with you to the fuel station. And essentially, no matter what side your tow vehicle fuels on, you're pulling in one direction, filling the truck and the boat, and then you're off again. No having to maneuver through a busy gas station to flip around and then fill the boat, which I think is hugely convenient. Also, we have available bumper cleats. It's the little round hole you see here. We can pop in a bumper that hangs about to here on the boat, and it allows you to keep the side of your boat safe, but also you don't have to take up your pull-up cleat with the rope that's tied to your bumper. You can use those pop-up cleats just to tie off to the dock. It makes it a lot more convenient to take that bumper on and off the boat when you're preparing to dock. You also have some signature stylish elements this year that are a little bit different. One of which that probably is completely obvious to you now is our 50th anniversary emblem. This is a billet gold anodized emblem, and it is lit, and it is to signify that this is our 50th year. It's pretty special. All of our Centurions have this emblem this year, and we love the way it looks, and we love how happy it makes everyone to understand that we've been around for 50 years, and we're honoring that 50 years of innovation with emblems just like this. You've also got our fresh air vent back in this area of the boat, and this vent allows fresh air to get to the engine to allow the engine to perform at optimum levels. But it also has a stylish element to it, and it can be colored one of 18 different colors, so you can customize this vent as well. It is made by Roswell Marine, and they use a chem film dip process to make sure that the color and the paint adheres to these metal parts for years and years to come. This may just be the side of the Ri245, but there's a lot going on. The Centurion Ri245 is built on the OptiV hull. This is a modified deep V. Basically, the deep V gives us a smooth, rough water ride. It also displaces more water with less ballast weight. However, we have the largest ballast capacities in the industry, so it essentially displaces more water. But we modify this running surface to give it balance, because typically a straight deep V is side-to-side weight sensitive. It gets tippy. So we balance that with lifting pads that are built into the rear corners of the hull. They're triangular shaped, and they extend from the transom corner all the way up to the midsection of the boat. And they allow for balance to make sure that it doesn't list from side to side with weight distribution, but also it gives you more of lift at the back of the boat, which tends to be the heaviest. So it allows the boat to run more level in the water, even front to back. This creates less resistance in the water. This is where we get some of our fuel efficiency from, because there is less resistance thanks to that OptiV hull. But when we're ready to fill up our ballast and really displace the hull to create a surf wave, it creates a mass of water that is then ordered by the Quick Surf tabs. So Quick Surf Pro are plates that are mounted on the rear corners of the Ri245. The plate opposite the surf side goes down, creates lift on the surf side, and displaces the surf corner. So it creates that curl for the side that you're surfing on. If you're surfing on the starboard side, it's making a goofy curl. If you're surfing on the port side, it's making a regular curl. And it can be switched back and forth with the help of new Lenco smart rams in less than 2 seconds. Now, these smart rams are new for 2026, and not only do they allow that very quick transfer, they also work really well to let the system in the boat know exactly where they are positioned. So you always know at the driver's seat where the quick surf tabs are. Are they all the way down? Are they in the middle? Are they just one tick above the lowest setting? It's going to tell you exactly on your captive touch screen where your quick surf tabs are located. And that gives you extreme customization over your wave shape. That's really important. These new actuators are also very resilient. They're built with fewer parts, so there's less to break, so they last longer. This quick surf system will keep you surfing for years to come. New for this year, for the Centurion line, you can get the Centurion Surge Thruster System, STS. This thruster is light years ahead of anything you see offered in the towboat industry currently. This thruster is really made for boats that are between 27 and 42 feet, so it's much more powerful. It is about 3 3/4 horsepower compared to the 2 horsepower systems you often see. This gives you 87% increase in power. This thruster system by Easy Drive really gets it done. And it comes with its own dedicated Interstate Series 31 battery. So there is a battery just dedicated to this system. So you never have to worry about power loss. You've always got enough power to make this thruster thrust you around the lake. There's a lot going on beneath the swim step of the Ri245. You can get a lot of optional elements, some of which are really bright. The underwater lights, specifically by Technique, they are 10,000 lumens a light, and they are RGBW capable. So not only are they extremely bright, but you can color them any color on the spectrum of the rainbow. You also have a standard silent stinger on the Ri245. So the Ri245 gets the silent stinger wake plate no matter what. The significance of this wake plate is that it changes the running attitude of the boat. When the wake plate goes down, the nose of the boat goes down, and the most aggressive part of the V is then cutting through the chop on a rough day at the lake. But when you bring that plate up, it allows the nose of the boat to come up and the back of the boat to displace more water. That helps you shape your waves and wakes. The significance of the silent portion of this is it takes down the engine noise. It dampens the noise of the engine. And this allows for the boat on the inside to be much quieter. In fact, it's about 75 decibels at the passenger seat, which is the noise level of a kitchen dishwasher. So you can have a normal level conversation with others that are in the boat. It makes a day at the lake just so much more enjoyable. But the way we accomplish this is with forced water that is coming in through the bottom of the plate when the boat is underway. That water tumbles with the exhaust that's being ported into the plate from the engine through a series of baffles, and it really dampens the noise of the engine. It also disrupts the line that can sometimes be formed by the exhaust going through your surf wave. So it's not going to trip you up when you're trying to do that next 360 on your skim board. But it allows for the noise of the engine to be much quieter, so much so that you sometimes have to walk to the back of the Ri245 to make sure the engine's on. It is really, really quiet, and it is standard on the Ri245. There's a lot to talk about on the back of the Centurion Ri245, especially for 2026 model year. This whole back end of the boat has been innovated and elevated, both the comfort level, the style, and the functionality. This year, you have standard lay flat chargers that are actually chiseled into the back corners of the boat. These lay flat chargers are angled down, so even if you forgot your phone in these little cubbies and you took off, the phone's not gonna fly out. It's actually kind of, gravity's keeping it down into the back of that little cubby, and it's charging at the same time. And this way, I don't have to take up my cup holder back here with my phone. I can actually use the cup holder for a drink. And speaking of the cup holders, they're lit for 2026, even on the back transom. And this is really cool. It's RGBW lighting, so I can make it any color amongst the spectrum of the rainbow. So I can really customize the look back here. I've also got now a pop-up pylon in the back. And this pylon is really out of the way. We used to have our pylon up further on the sun pad, which could affect rope rubbing on your upholstery or over your gator step on your walkthrough. This particular pylon is great because it's farther back on the boat, and if you're pulling a tube, you can have the rope coming off over the water, over the swim step, so you're not interfering with your upholstery or your gator step. And it's also out of the way, so I can put it back very easily, and it's not gonna be a toe stubber when I'm getting in and out of the boat from the back either. I also have a lot of cool-looking gator step back here. This particular Ri245 has the salute to service scheme on its gator step, and it's beautiful to look at, and I get a really good look at it from sitting back here. The other thing I've got is a trunk that in some cases is going to house a rear transom ballast bag, or I can put my gear in this trunk as well. I also have some really comfortable seating, and it's a loungeable seating. So I can actually lay out back here and be ultra comfortable. And new for 2026, this particular flip up rear facing seat has a blind hinge on it. So even though it functions very easily, it's a ratchet hinge, there's no big metal components that I can stub my toe on when I'm getting in and out of the boat from the back. And it finishes the look of this sun pad as well. Like I said, there's a lot going on the back of the Ri245, a lot of comfort, a lot of functionality, and a lot of beauty. As I walk into the 2026 Ri245, the first thing I notice is the new walkover. It is awesome because it gets me a little bit lower. The step from the seat to the walkover is not quite as high as it has been in years past, and it allows for just a surer path on the way to the boat. When you sit down in the Ri245, you realize it's not only big, but it's extremely comfortable. A lot of that comfort comes from the vinyl and the seating. The way that our seating is designed is it has 3 different densities of foam. You've got a really rigid piece of foam that's on the bottom of the seat cushion. Then in the middle, you've got one that gives just a little bit more, has a little more cushion to it. And then right on the underside of the vinyl, there's a really, really soft piece of foam. So it's got triple density. What that gives you is really great bounce back. If you notice, if I pinch this vinyl, that pinch impression that I'm making goes away immediately. That's what we consider great bounce back. But what that also gives you is a comfortable place to sit. The seat gives just a little bit, and you can feel that give when you sit on the seat. But then when you get up, there was no evidence that you were ever there. You also have vinyl in this interior that is beautiful looking, but kind of dark. And you might be asking yourself, man, does that get hot in the sun? Well, it would if it wasn't cool touch vinyl. But this vinyl that you see here is a darker color, but it stays about 15 to 20 degrees cooler than a similarly colored vinyl that doesn't have the cool touch built into it. It is extremely comfortable, even in direct sun. It also has a really nice look to it. The sheen is more of a matte finish, and the upholstery itself is very soft to the touch. This particular scheme is cool touch with a hex accent. So, what that means is the accent, which there are two in the Ri245, is a hex texture. That is not the cool touch vinyl, but it has a really cool look to it. And you can opt for that scheme as we did for this particular boat. You'll also notice that this scheme has some special stitching in it. This is the topo stitch pattern, and this is part of the Warrior package. You can get that interesting stitching as a part of that package, and we can color the stitching itself one of 12 different colors to really customize the look of the interior. You can also get an all cool touch scheme, which means the accent would be cool touch as well. Or you can get an all hex scheme. You can get a hex accent scheme. You name it. You can really color this interior and lay it out the way you would like it. And we have 16 different vinyl colors, so you can go crazy on the design of the interior of your Ri245. You also have the ability to color the flooring. The flooring is non-skid and it's made by Gator Step. This particular boat has our Salute to Service scheme in it, which is a bunch of flags, stars and stripes, as well as our Centurion Salute to Service logo. But while this scheme looks beautiful and you can choose between 15 different colors on each of its 3 layers, it gives you a great customization as far as the look of the boat. But really, what this is meant to do is honor the men and women that sacrifice for the freedoms that we enjoy, be it first responders, military, frontline workers. They help us keep living the lake lifestyle that we love so much. And these items, like the Salute to Service floor, allow us to honor them and give back. And a portion of the proceeds that we get from this flooring being sold will go to service charities that we work with, like Operation Get Out and Operation Wake Surf, our Heroes Tour. These organizations help give back to the men and women that make our way of life possible, and we will never forget that. You also have a lot of customization that you can add to the side panels. And for 2026, we have amped up the side panels and the cup holders in the RI series amazingly. So the side panel in the Ri245 is a gel-coated fiberglass part. So that can be one of 37 different gel coat colors. You can go crazy with the colors on the side panel. And typically what you choose as your color for the side panel will also apply to your table if you choose that option. But this side panel is beautiful. It is sky blue metal flake, but it also has a couple other cool new things going on for 2026. 2026 is our 50th year at Centurion Boats, and we have added the 50th emblems to the exterior of every Centurion we build. But on the RIs specifically, we have also added the 50th and the years 1976 to 2026 on the interior side panels where the cup holders are. We've lit them from underneath and added that gold badge. It's just beautiful. And again, it's honoring the innovation that has happened over the last 50 years that has made Centurion into the company that it is today. But the Ri245 also has wireless clamping cell phone chargers in either of the side panels, both on the port side and the starboard side, as well as the stereo system. Whatever you choose, those speakers will be embedded in your side panels as well. So they'll be able to spill all of that sound onto the interior of your Ri245. There's a lot going on in here. Once again, we've got a lot of style, a lot of beauty, a lot of customization, and some honor built in. Since the Centurion Ri245 can welcome as many as 16 people, we have to have a place for all of their stuff. Luckily, there is storage underneath every seat in the lounge. And new for 2026, we've combined a few of those seats to make big openings. So you can open a large section of the lounge and have access to all of that storage all at once. It is very convenient. It's also shocked, so I can open it up and it stays open. I can load all my gear in and then close it down. The 2026 Centurion Ri245 comes standard with a slide seat and limo lighting. The limo lighting is gorgeous in this boat, but the slide seat is really what gives it a place to go. The slide seat has 4 positions. It has the position in the very back that makes the lounge a U shape. Then it's got another position just ahead of that, and then 2 more just ahead of that, all the way up to the helm. So right now we're in one of the middle positions with this particular seat. What this gives you the ability to do is change your weight distribution. So if you want people sitting in a different spot in the boat, maybe more towards the center of the boat for a different shaped wakeboard wake, you can do that with this slide seat. And then if you opt for the removable lean backs, you can have them face backwards, you can have them face forwards. There are 4 receptacles built into the bottom of this slide seat that allows you to move those lean backs around. If you want to face forward and push the seat all the way forward, you can make a little lounge in the helm. If you want to face backwards and push the seat towards the middle, you can do that and change your weight distribution to help your rider in tow get the wave or wake shape that they truly desire. You can also opt for a table that is color matched to your interior side panels, and it has gator step on top and 4 cup holders built into it, but it will be able to be put into any one of the 4 receptacles on the slide seat as well. And then you can slide that table in and out of place throughout the lounge. So you've got a lot of versatility with the Centurion slide seat that comes standard in the Ri245. The observer's area of the Ri245 has a lot going on. Not only is it a comfortable place to sit, actually for a couple people to sit because it's so big, it has a lot of function built into it. And a lot of that function has to do with smart storage. I have a really big storage area that's underneath the lean back of the observer seat where you can see your batteries are stored, but you have plenty of room to add more gear. You also have your trash can here for your walk-through trash chute. You can remove it and dump it from this area. You also can opt for a new second subwoofer. It's a triple X subwoofer from Wet Sounds that will reside in this area too. But even with all that stuff in there, you still have plenty of room for gear. Just shove it in. And the great thing is you can put a ton of stuff in there and not have to worry about weeding back through it, digging through it to get to your isolator switch for your batteries. That is all housed in the glove box. The glove box houses your battery management system as well as your PDM breaker panel. So you have easy access to all of that in the glove box. You also have a new glove box for this year, or at least a new glove box lid. It's still lit with the Centurion and the Warrior logo, but it's got some new billet shape to it, and it's looking really good. I love the way the glove box lid looks. It also has a companion that's new this year in the cup holders that are next to it. They are also billet on the top, but they have lighting underneath, so it really accentuates the cup holders and gives another unique style to the boat in this area. And you have your clamping wireless cell phone charger for the observer as well. So I can have my phone front and center. If I want to control the stereo, I've got it next to me so I can change the tunes as an observer. I don't have to leave that song selection to the driver. Also new for this year, we have a new storage cubby that is in the side panel of the observer's area. This cubby is nice for those small items that I want to have quick access to, but I want to make sure that they're stored well, that they're not going to roll around or come out of a storage area. So if I want to have somebody else charge their phone, I can leave my phone in the observer storage area in the Ri245 and know that it's not going to slide out or be rolling around throughout the rest of the boat. I could also put my sunglasses in there, maybe a wedding ring when I go to ride if I want to make sure that it's stored safely. You've got all of this functionality built into the observer's area for the Ri245, as well as a speaker and a grab handle in case you need to hold on. This area of the boat is accommodating, it's stylish, and it may be my new favorite. The Ri245 is rated for 16 passengers. When you can accept that many adults into the boat, you need to have some versatility in the seating. And that's what we get here. You've got an optional flip up lean back on the port side where you can add another rear facing seat to the boat. You also have the enclosure here on the starboard side behind the driver's seat that gives you another rear facing seat. And this enclosure also has a couple cup holders in it, as well as a trash chute, so I can make sure I have trash in this part of the boat thrown away. I also have that trash chute up front in the walkthrough, so two trash cans in the Ri245. But the passenger capacity really forces us to do that. That's a lot of people. But this way, we make everybody be able to sit and view the rider in tow or just hang out the way they want to. The driver's area of the Ri245 is probably my favorite. I know I said the observer area might be, but I don't know. The more I sit behind this captive touch screen, the more I want to be in this area of the boat. You literally have control over every one of the systems in the Ri245 from here. Not only are the screens huge and easy to navigate, but I can see everything I need to see here, and still the brow of the dash is low enough that even without sitting on the bolster, I can see the water in front of me. So I feel like I have great visibility all around, as well as tons of control. The way the captive touch vision screens work is they have navigation that is a 6-button navigation on the right-hand side, and I can toggle between all of my main functions. So if I want to see my surf screen, I can see where my boat is set up. I can choose to surf left or surf right. If I want to use my switching, I want to switch on my heater or my docking lights, I can go to that next menu selection. I also have access to my mapping on this menu and my stereo, as well as my ballast screen, so I can see where all of my ballast is located. But one thing I want to point out that is really, really cool about the software that is used to drive all the systems in the Ri245 is the fact that I can set this boat up however I want to surf or wakeboard. And then once I have those settings where I've just accomplished a trick I never thought I would land, I can save the boat as it is set at that point. So I don't have to remember what those settings are and then enter them in as a new profile. I can hit save as, give it a name, and then now I have my greatest of all time, my GOAT surf settings right there for everybody to see or use if they see fit. And I can also do something similar to this by going to my profiles. So I can take an existing factory profile and I can save it as a new profile as well. This boat gives me a lot of functionality, but it also makes things easy. I don't have to start from scratch to do a new profile so that the boat will surf the way I want to ride. One of the other things I love about this new 2026 Ri245 is the knob ops. Knob ops is a new control that couples stereo control with surf control, as well as some of your standard controls that you need, like your nav lights, your bilge, your blower. And it puts it in this little control panel that's at my right. And it's got a big knob, hence the name, Knob Ops. And I can use this knob to adjust my stereo volume very easily. So if I'm coming back around to pick up a fallen rider and I want to make sure I can hear what they're telling me, I can immediately easily turn the stereo down with this knob. Also, if I want to change to my next song, I can bump this knob one way or the other. I can go to the last song I was listening to, advance it to the next song. I have control over my stereo functionality without really having to focus my attention on this control panel. I can just reach down, feel for the knob, boom, advance it to the next song, and my rider is up and surfing and also enjoying their selected tunes. You've got all of that functionality just at your fingertips here on the right side. I also have some considerate storage built into the dash for this year. So now I have this nice little secret storage down here on my left-hand side where I could put things like my car keys, maybe my wedding ring when I go to ride, stuff that I want to make sure is tucked away and secure because it's got this great little door on the front of it that's lit with the warrior, by the way, so it looks really cool, but it keeps all of my precious smaller items safe, and it looks really good. It also feels nice. The actuation on the door is so smooth. It makes you feel secure if you need to put something in there that's valuable to you. I also have access to my wireless clamping cell phone charger and immediate access to my cell phone. So it's never very far, and I can always glance to it to see if there's something, a text coming across that needs my immediate attention. But other than that, I'm focused out on the water in front of me, and my sports shifters allow me to do just that. I still have functionality as far as being able to control the position of my Silent Stinger wake plate on the left and my set zero off speed on the right. So I never have to take my eyes off the water. I can change my wake plate position, or I can increase or decrease my speed just by pulling these sport shifters towards me with a couple fingers, and then I'm never focused anywhere but on the water ahead of me. I love that fact that I don't have to really divert my attention from the priority at hand, which is driving the boat, make sure and everybody in the boat with me is safe, as well as that my rider in tow is having the best ride of their life. But sometimes I get a little cold up here as a driver. And if that's the case, I can flip on the heater. And I have heater vents built into the dash so I can keep myself warm. But if I get too warm, I can open my vented windshield and let the air flow through so I can control my temperature settings to make sure the driver is happy. Because just like mom, if the driver's not happy, nobody in the boat is happy. So we can definitely all be happy as the driver of the Ri245 because there's so much functionality in the driver's area. New for 2026 on the RI series, and specifically this Ri245, is the range of view system. Now, the system itself we've had for a good little bit, but this year we have updated the cameras. So the range of view system consists of a bow camera, a stern camera, as well as trip data that gives you a range of view of what's going on in and around your boat. And new for this year, if you opt for the Predator Power Tower, you also get a third POV camera mounted on the top of the tower. So you're going to have even more visibility over the water in the area around you and your boat. But the way you access that information is here on the Captive Touch Vision screens. So you can activate your cameras. This is our transom camera here. And let's say I also really want to understand where I'm at as far as my trip information. How much fuel am I using? How much fuel do I have left in relation to that amount? And make sure that I am prepared to get fuel when I need to, but I'm not worried about going back to the fuel dock if I have plenty more left to use. So this gives you all of this information right here in a quick eye shot, and it's never very far from top of mind for you to make sure that you and your passengers are not stranded. But it also tells you just how fuel efficient your Ri245 is. When we say that it's 50% more efficient than our next competitor, that's what we mean. You are not using very much fuel in this boat. Specifically in the Ri245, you have an 89-gallon fuel tank, and that fuel tank should last you for days on end, even surfing fully weighted. This is a very efficient running hull as well as efficient running engine. So you should have no problem having enough fuel to keep you and your family on the water for days at a time. That's what this is about, making sure we maximize that enjoyment for you all. But you also might get thirsty out on the water for so many days at a time. And when that happens, the driver has access to this ice chest. Now, the driver may be opening the ice chest, but I bet your observer is going to be the one tossing you the drinks. But this ice chest drains into the bilge, and it allows you to keep wet or dry items in this area. You could have your cold drinks, or you could choose to keep towels in this enclosure, whatever works best for you and is most convenient. But when we're drinking a lot out of our ice chest, we're probably gonna make some trash. We also have easy access to the walk-through trash chute from the driver's seat and the observer seat. So we can always make sure that the trash is put where it should be, out of sight, out of mind. Just like all of the other Centurions, the Ri245 is a walk-through open bow. Oh, and is this bow open? Let me tell you, this is a big bow, and you sit really down in the bow. So if you've got a child in the bow, they can sit on their bottoms and be super protected. It's also one of the smoothest riding places in the boat. Yes, even in the bow. That Opta-V hull allows the most aggressive part of the V to cut through the chop, and it makes a ride in the bow really, really comfortable and safe. You can make this bow a playpen style bow by installing this filler cushion, or you can take it out and make it a little lounge up here. I also have a new optional armrest that's padded and cushy and comfortable. I've got access to grab handles in case the driver's wants to spin donuts and I need to hold on. I've got cup holders that new for 2026 are lit and look really cool. I've got a couple speakers up here, as well as some power points if I need to charge my phone. There's also an auxiliary power point that's made for a pump. So if I need to pump up a tube, I can do that from the bow. There's all kinds of cool features in this bow. Not only is it comfortable, but it's extremely functional. And why should it surprise you? The Ri245 extends its beauty and functionality as well as style to the bow. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the all-new 2026 Centurion Ri245. And I'm sure you can tell why we sell more of these Centurions than any of our other models. It has the world's best waves, wakes, and ride. But don't take my word for it. Visit your local Centurion Boats dealer and let us prove it to you on the water today.